Hello everyone, I am CoolGuy. Welcome back. It is week 13 of our weekly weapon vendor reset. These are for the weapons. If you're looking for PvE specific activities, go and check out Mesa Sean. He's the best in the business for that kind of stuff, so check that out. It's in the description below. First, I start off with Ronnie, and there are a couple of gems this week. It depends on what you want on your weapon. I think there's some very well-rounded weapons this week. We have the Parthian shot first starting off here. And there's been better weeks. We had the red dot ORA2, the quick draw, and the OEG. The deal here is with the scopes, they're not that good. Quick draw is going to be your best option, probably, unless you're into the OEG. These sights are just kind of horrid, in my opinion. But first, we have Outlaw or Partial Refund, Brace Frame, Lightweight, Head Seeker. We're going to go across the top here, and it works because we get a lower magazine with increased ability, and we want to land those 2 bursts in PvP. That's key. That's what makes this weapon deadly. And even though we get a low magazine, that's okay, because if we get an outlaw, a headshot proc, we have Outlaw to really kind of negate that. And remember, when you start running stuff like this with a low magazine, Scout Rifle, Reload Gauntlets are going to be your best friend, and then Head Seeker, right? So it saves the burst time to kill on some weapons, like especially like the Waltz. You can still 3 burst shooting at the body on low armor guardians. So Head Seeker really helps on this weapon at a distance, in my opinion. There's been so many good weeks. He brings one every week. And if you don't have this Parthian shot or a Parthian shot like it, it's worth picking up. Next is going to be the Angel's Advocate. It's like the Might of multi-tool, and I've been really getting into this weapon. A couple weeks ago, there was a Brace Frame Reactive Reload version of this, and what really makes it is this reflex sight, because we talk about these scopes, they aren't that good, guys. We have Zen Moment, Last Resort, Perfect Balance, High Caliber Rounds, and Return to Sender. So not the best roll, but I want to bring it up just because of the Zen Moment, Perfect Balance kind of connection here. Because remember, with Zen Moment, about the 2nd or 3rd tap, you really start feeling Zen Moment. And this isn't going to be the best. Kills with this weapon have a chance to grant bonus ammo to the magazine. It's kind of meh, but this weapon handles really well. It's a very competitive scout rifle, and at the end of the week, if you're looking to try it just with this scope and this combination, it's there to pick up. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the TEACUP Tempest. And I'm always going to bring this up because, again, the Wormwood's going to be better all around, but the TEACUP's going to be better at range. We have the True Sight, Sure Shot, Quick Draw. We have Zen Moment. We just talked about that, and this thing shoots fast, so you're gonna feel it very quickly. Zen Moment or Cascade, Snapshot, Casket Mag, and Hot Swap. I like having Casket Mag on sidearms, and Hot Swap's gonna be good. You get that brief bonus buff when you switch to it. So that paired with Zen Moment, it's gonna be a decent weapon. And finally, let's bring up the Razor because we don't bring it out too much. Now, here's what's weird about the Razor. We have Smart Drift Control, Field Choke, Soft. So probably Field Choke to get a little bit more range and impact. Then we have Performance Bonus or Battle Runner. Both are going to be top tier perks for it. Reinforced Barrel, which is our top tier range perk that are rifled. We don't want to use Flared Magwell, and then Rangefinder. So with the Razor, what we have here is a range perk, and then Rangefinder. We're trying to make this into a Matador, and it's just simply not. That's one of the reasons why I don't use this weapon. I think it's best fit with something like Full Auto, Final Round, something like that, this archetype of shotgun. You could pick this up if you guys would like, but then again, just remember, it's not a Matador, it's not a Party Crasher, it's not a Last Ditch. So there's actually a really good Last Ditch that we would take over the Razor this week, but this is one of the better rolls we can get for the Razor. With the 7 cents, Bone Crusher, we would kind of pass. Now, the 7 cents has been really good for me. I've been using a quick draw hidden hand version. It has been fantastic in trials. Yeah, there's a philosophy behind using it. Go ahead and check out this clip.
Over there.
I was off on the right behind that wall.
Wait till 10, pop a tether at the doorway, and just hold it.
Yeah, all 3 pushing the door.
Yeah, there you go.
Overtime.
Oh, God.
More.
That's how you play Destiny.
All enemies neutral.
Especially in trials, I like it shoots a little bit faster, and a lot of people use icebreakers. You can get to spots quicker. Just in that particular instance, it was a 3v1, but in the beginning of matches, people still use icebreaker, and we get the pick a little bit faster. Now, we aren't going to be talking about New Monarchy this week, but Dead Orbit has some weapons, and so does Future War Cult, so we're going to spend a little extra time with them. First, start off with the High Impact Keystone. We have the Red Dot ORA, Focus Lens, and OEG. Not the best scopes. Personally, I like the ORA out of these. We have explosive rounds or lightweight, small bore, outlaw, and then crowd control. So explosive rounds for the lower tier enemies, right? We get that little extra damage. It really helps out with shanks at a distance, things like that. Explosive rounds is always good on a high impact scout. Between small bore and outlaw, and we're gonna go with outlaw because we get that fast reload. It really helps this kind of a clunky archetype feel really good. Scout Reload Gauntlets always help, and then we have crowd control, so we can get that quick headshot and just keep moving on target to target. It's a decently rolled Keystone. Next is going to be the Fusion Rifle, the Worlds to Come, and I like this combination between the waiting and worlds to come, because we have the reflex, red dot O or A, and the OEG. We have accelerated coils, lightweight. I always go with lightweight. I don't ever really use accelerated coils. Even though on some fusion rifles, the projectile burst to kill is going to be the same, but what happens is I shoot them from a distance, and we do get fall off with fusion rifles. You start seeing different numbers, so we want to keep the archetype the same, at least I do. So we would go with lightweight, hammer forged, rangefinder. Knee pads, I mean, the more range that we get, that's projectile speed, it's distance. Hammer forged, rangefinder is a really good combination for the worlds to come. And then finally, the last ditch. And what's nice about this, let's walk through this. It doesn't have aggressive ballistics, but we have smooth, CQB, and soft. So we're going to stick with smooth. We have flared magwell snapshot, hammer forged knee pads, and then rangefinder. So with rangefinder, we have a reduction in aim down sights time. That's where snapshot comes in, kind of help level it out a little bit. And then we have hammer forged. So we get a little bit more range with rangefinder and then hammer forged, and we kind of help that penalty with snapshot. It's a decent PvP shotgun this week. It's worth considering. But next, let's go ahead and talk to Lakshmi at the Future War Cult. We're going to talk about 3 weapons really quickly. First is the Waltz, and we're going to talk about it too much. Just we have small bore or feeding frenzy with Headseeker. It's the reflex, steady hand, OEG. We have high caliber rounds, lightweight. We go with high calibers, and the low stability is okay with Headseeker. Headseeker is fine with low stability because you aim to the body, let the burst come up, get it procced. It's your basic run-of-the-mill in this archetype Headseeker role. If you're looking to try something like that out, small bore reduces it to 27, and feeding frenzy, once you get any kill to the head or to the body, you get a fast reload. Next is going to be the wounded, and I'm going to say this every single time, and it might be worth considering. I'm going to be picking this up again, even though we had an Outlaw Firefly one last week or the week before. This is the MD Reflex range lens and the actual reflex. I'm going to go with the reflex this time. We have armor piercing rounds, quick draw, perfect balance, unflinching, and Firefly. This weapon is going to feel great. What quick draw does is it makes the aim down sights time and handling a lot quicker. It feels like the Mida essentially with your aim down sights time. So quick draw, perfect balance, and again, perfect balance really rounds out the weapon and makes it complete. And then Firefly. So on an all-around level, this thing is going to feel great. I can promise you that. And it's going to be worth picking up. And Firefly is always going to be a very strong perk in PvE, and it's always just really rewarding in PvP. But I used it last week with Quick Draw with the Outlaw Firefly version. It felt great, but the sight wasn't there. But I'm willing to negate Outlaw to have the really just all-around perfect balance stability right here with Firefly. And we can also throw on the gauntlets, so we like it. And then, of course, the Wormwood, the best primary in the game. It has Sure Shot, and we're going to use these perks, Hidden Hand, and then Army of One, because it's a fast kill to get that extra grenade and melee cooldown. Next, let's go to the Crucible Quartermaster. First, let's start off with our packages, our bounties for our weapons. Hopefully we get hand cannon, which we do, and unfortunately I didn't turn it in last week, but we have hand cannon, pulse rifle, sidearm, sniper rifle, and then heavy weapon. We have the 0-day dilemma, and this is a niche thing, and you know what? I have one just like it. This is the MD Reflex Quick Draw OEG. We have focus fire or close and or personal, small bore, a pin and magazine, and persistence. So we would go with close and or personal. It makes it into, if you're gonna run focus fire, it doesn't help this weapon out. It helps at range because of damage, but then again at range you're better off with a pulse rifle or a scout rifle, in my opinion. Also, the Soros regime is going to be the top tier focus fire weapon in the game only, but with close and or personal, the short period of 25% bonus melee damage, really good on a Titan. And so I'll show you mine here in a second. Between small bore, pin and magazine, and persistence. Persistence helps out auto rifles, and then I would actually go with a pin and magazine because instead of dropping to 21, we're going to 30. That's a big difference on an auto rifle, but we have persistence. That's huge. The one that I use, I went flawless on it with my Titan one week on Asylum. Mine is going to be the same exact role with a pin and magazine, close and or personal, and persistence. And this one also has crowd control, but this with the Titan is very, very good. And it's worth a try. Maybe at the end of the week, if you're a Titan and you like punching things, persistence, close and or personal is really fun in both PvE and PvP. We're going to skip the party favor. I mean, it's decent. The only thing I don't like about it is the magazine. This is Outlaw with Headseeker. It's kind of like what we have with the Waltz there, Future War Cult. It's a basic run-of-the-mill deal. This one actually does help out the magazine because we have Outlaw. We don't want to lower it. We'd probably go with Rifled Barrel. And actually, I have a video coming out soon. I just haven't released it. I did it a couple days ago, where we could talk about a party favor without counterbalance or Headseeker, because I did just another random package video, and we could talk about its recoil direction, and this actually might work. So maybe after seeing that video, you might want to try out this party favor. The Palindrome, always worth talking about. This is a steady hand, sure shot, quick draw. Hot swap or last resort, reinforced barrel, high caliber rounds reactive. We're gonna go across the top here. Hot swap really works well with an icebreaker, helps that brief bonus accuracy buff. Reinforced barrel, ideally we wanted rifled, and then reactive reload. Really good on a gunslinger, and of course for reactive reload, even to be a thing, you need to run hand cannon reload gauntlets. Next is the 44 curtain call, and I love this thing. I recommend picking it up. Linear compensator, CQB, soft ballistics. If you guys have been watching my stream, you know that I run a replenish shotgun, especially on the Night Stalker, right? So replenish knee pads, rifled barrel lightweight, and then full auto. What is really nice here, we're gonna go with linear here, that way we don't drop our range or our impact, but replenish rifled barrel full auto. Full auto is good. I've never personally used full auto on this, but the one that I use is going to be the same exact thing, rifled barrel, but mine is actually replenish rangefinder. And what's so nice, especially in a round of trials, you come out in the third round, you throw down a tether, it tethers them together, and then you start rushing at them with the shotgun. It's really good on a Sunsinger, really good on a Defender, any class. It's basically free ammo. You need to start looking at perks on shotguns, like I just picked up this Uzume with Replenish that I'm very excited for. You need to look at Replenish as kind of like free ammo on certain weapons, and the Curtain Call is a really good archetype of shotgun, so it's highly worth considering if you don't have a Replenish shotgun. Yeah. And then finally, we have the Event Horizon. It's worth talking about because it has Snapshot. We have the Hawkeye View Tac Eagle Eye. It's your chance to use UTAC if you've never used it. It's an interesting scope. We have Triple Tap, Spray and Play, Armor Piercing Round, Snapshot, and Unflinching. Of course, Snapshot and Flinching, we're going to be using those. And honestly, Taken Knee would have been really good on this too, to have the buffs of Taken Knee. It's not the best in the world. It is high impact, so it's always worth talking about. And that's going to be it for the weekly reset. We're not going to talk about New Monarchy. There isn't really anything there worthy of your marks, and honestly there's some interesting rolls this week. I really like the Curtain Call, and I would actually put the Wounded up there, okay? Trust me on the Perfect Balance Quick Draw Reflex. Trust me on that, guys. I'm going to be getting it, just trust me. It's going to be a very, very good all-around solid weapon. You know, the Parthian shot is always going to be a good weapon. Let me know what you guys are most excited for, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.